Hello, everybody, and welcome to our live stream here for round two of the Team Super League put on by Three Sales Gaming. Today, we are bringing to you the honed and ready game between Artonas of the Game of Thrones boys and GoT Bois. Why am I calling my own team by the wrong name? And Serbian Pope of the Balkan Brawlers. Um, so let's just get right into it. And here we are. We're just getting deployment set up here. So we have Artonas here, who is playing his Targaryens. We're just going to go over the list right away. It looks like he has chosen his Drogo list. So we have Khal Drogo, in a squad of House Bolton Flayed Men, a unit of Dothraki Outriders with a Fortune Seeker, a Harakar, Rhaegal, Daenerys Khaleesi, not the Unburnt. Strange to see that. Walder Frey, and Pyat Pree. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting if we're going to see this Harakar here end up being outflanked. I am never a fan of it. I'm also a Greyjoy player, so I never find it works out for me. And over here for Serbian Pope, who is playing the Baratheons. And it looks like he is running Commander Stannis, the rightful heir. Now, I'm not a Baratheon player, so I always get Stannis 1 and 2 mixed up. But this is Stannis 1, I believe. You guys can correct me in the chat below if I am wrong. But it looks like Stannis is in a squad of R'hllor Lightbringers. He has just a bare unit of Wardens. We have a Champions of the Stag with Glory Seeker. Baratheon Sentinels with Andrew Estermont. The Dragonstone Noble. Over here, Davos Seaworthy and Shira Errol. So we're going to be seeing a 2 NCU into 3 NCU match. 3 NCU with Walder. And that 6th zone. So lots of choices for Artonas to be able to make on that board. Carl Black saying, "Thank goodness I'm bored at work. What factions we have coming?" So, sorry, I'm probably late getting to your comment. It is Targaryens versus Baratheons. So these guys are just finishing up deploying their terrain right now. We're looking at a bog here on this right side, closest to the tactics board. Stakes over here on the left side. We have ourselves a weirwood and a hedge in the middle. I was going to say we don't seem to have objective cards up, but I'm thinking of the wrong mission. So we are playing, or they are playing, I should say, Honed and Ready today. That's the one for those who are unfamiliar with the 5 objectives. Commander scores 2 victory points. Scoring starts round 2. If you score points on an objective on either flank by the castle walls, you take D3 plus 2 automatic hits on that unit. Also, to get extra shooting goodness off, you can replace any tactics zone effect with do D3 plus 2 shots on any of those flank objectives. Can be very handy. It'll be harsher on Artonas here. Excuse me, because he has units with a weaker defensive stat with the 5+ armor save only. Whereas I believe over on Serbian Pope's side, the average defense here will be we got 2 plus, 4 plus, 2 plus, 3 plus, 4 plus. So pretty good mix. The 4 plus on the Lightbringers, who are likely going to be wanting to be sitting on an objective. It's the commander plus a ranged unit. And that noble, he'll likely be able to tank quite a few shots. He only has 3 wounds, but the 2 plus defensive save will really help against the arrows. So, I've noticed this in a lot of newer lists. The new Glory Seeker, Fortune Seeker, Hedge Knight attachments are being very, very popular. People liking that extra healing they allow. The Fortune Seeker, especially in Outriders, I've noticed a couple times now for that free shot. It helps you put out pressure early. So we saw the roll-off there. Deployment zones have swapped. It looks like Serbian Pope decided he would like to flip the zones. It was Artonas who won the roll-off, forcing Serbian Pope to pick sides. We're likely going to see Artonas picking, likely to go first. I think he's going to want that double activation into round 3, and to get some of his cards rolling. I also don't think we're going to see this Harakar outflank. He is, well, let's count activations here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7 to 7 activations, so nothing unrealistic. What's that floating up there? That's weird. Okay. I can't even see what that is. Strange thing floating. So we got 7 activations on, 7 activations going here. So if he puts that Harakar into the outflanking reserve, he will be down an activation, and here we go. We see it coming out onto the board already. Like I said, as a Greyjoy player, I have found that the outflank is a trap. It's way too easy to block. You very unlikely want to bring it on in turn 1. The best thing he could have done bringing it on turn 1 was potentially bring it in to get a rear charge on this Dragonstone Noble. It's the only tray, I believe, that he can actually fully fit in the rear of. It really, unless he's going to make that charge, which the Dragonstone Noble would be able to activate beforehand with its free maneuver and just get facing on it, there's no reason to be outflanking that Harakar. After that, you're likely not getting it in until turn 4, if you're lucky turn 3. So what have we got here? We got Rhaegal on this right flank. Rhaegal, if I'm not mistaken, is the weakened token dragon. That, I think, is probably a good call here. The vulnerable token is a strong dragon. It does put a lot of extra damage out there for your other units. But I think the weakened is going to keep, where he has such a limited number of units on the table, it's going to keep them alive longer. And where we're seeing 5 table versus 4, those weakened tokens being able to really buff up the survivability of these units is really going to show. I will be interested to see on the objective claiming. Drogo is not really a commander who you think of for claiming and holding objectives. Sorry, my cat's just meowing at me. We're going to bring him over to the stream. Drogo is not one of your sit on an objective type commanders. He is going to be wanting to be out there, putting in damage. He has that wonderful, wonderful expert duelist. He is the most expert of the duelists, as some people like to say, where he is a cavalry attachment, unable to be sniped while being able to snipe others. And we see here, tactics cards have been drawn. We're going into round 1 with Serbian Pope as the first activation. So yeah, I'm interested to see if Artonas will be sitting Drogo onto an objective to kind of put out threat on the board while holding those 2 points. He doesn't have a lot of units to put out that pressure, so it's hard to say if he'll want that to be basically tying down his commander in such an aggressive unit, or if he's going to be going for attacks, going for those extra VPs, things like Adravat. So with our first 2 activations out, we saw Davos. Oh, here we go. There's some tokens. They're hard to see from this angle. We saw Davos for Serbian Pope claiming the tactics zone. He seems to have not placed a condition token. Either that or Artonas is deciding he must be removing the condition token by playing Khaleesi onto the bags and also influencing those flayed men. I do believe that she lets them re-roll at all times. Here, let's double check that. Yes, always gets the re-rolls, and whoop, remove 1 condition token from that unit. I'm not sure why he decided to claim the bags where she gets to remove a condition token on her own. Potentially just to block it. Alright, next we see, start of any turn, a Blood of the Dragon come down. Very strong card to have in your opening hand. Carl Black says, why even bother weakening the dragon? It'd be a big gambit. I have done it personally. It can come up as something useful. It's much better when you have a unit with Disrupt. I think it's something like a 5 in 9 or 5 in 18 chance that they will fail the attack, but it's very, very unlikely. And hello, Mark. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy. So we see the unit of Wardens activating, coming up the board to grab this objective early. I'm not sure if he's just going to ignore the fact that they can be shot by arrows now. Artonas is free and able to shoot them without him being able to be healed. But he's going to go for the maneuver. That's a strong zone for the Targaryens. It's what all of their tactics cards rely off of. And getting his flayed men and Drogo into the fight early will really, really help him kind of put that damage out, put the pressure on. He's going to need to be knocking multiple ranks off of units to be able to contest. Contesting only happens if you have more ranks, not equal. Although, in that regard, both the Harakar and the Dragon Rhaegal will be contesting with their amount of wounds. So, they'll be essentially uncontestable while being able to put good pressure on in contesting. I'm not sure if that's what he's planning on using them for, especially the Harakar. So we're going to see where he decides to go there. So, with Serbian Pope's next activation, we see the Baratheon Sentinels, with Andrew Estermont moving up the board just slowly. That's a very, very nasty combo there. Andrew Estermont giving them insight for the highest attack die value. I have to double check. It is highest attack. Ooh, where is he at? Here it is. Yes, highest attack die value and vicious. and then being able to always re-roll those wounds. Always being able to re-roll those wounds. Sorry, not wounds. Re-roll hits. I'm thinking of Warhammer right now. Not sure why. In combat, if he has less remaining ranks. It's a good unit for the counterpunch, giving them both vicious and sundering. Carl Black saying Targs don't have any tactics cards that rely on zones anymore. I believe that they do. I'll have to double check right here, but I believe that their basic deck has a couple. Yeah, Overrun, Swift Reposition, Fire and Blood, and potentially some of Drogo's cards himself. No, just those three. So Overrun, Swift Reposition, and Fire and Blood all work off of the maneuver zone. Alright, so we see here in the middle, moving forward, we have Stannis and his R'hllor Lightbringers, followed up shortly behind by the Fortune Seeker Outriders. I think he's just making sure that ranges he can get the first couple shots off while staying safe from those Lightbringers. Alright, Weaken the Dragon, future token play by Stannis. Very true. Stannis does rely a lot on cards. I don't know his cards overly well. I know that he can remove abilities, but the dragon's cards or abilities are all innate. So he won't be able to remove tokens, remove abilities from the dragon. Right. So we're seeing the Champions of the Stag here moving forward. He's just trying to get into a position where he can move onto this objective, it looks like, and just barely claim it. I have a feeling that he wants to pivot in a way. No, he is not. I was highly expecting him to pivot in a way such that the dragon would have to land on the stakes if he wanted to attack those Champions of the Stag in the front. The dragons only ignore the dangerous keyword during their moves and their maneuvers and marches. So if they land or charge over top of land, charge, attack, any of those over top of the stakes, they will be taking the wounds. It's something that really needs to be kept in mind. They used to just completely ignore them. Very true, Mark. Being able to change it to a vulnerable at a moment's notice would be handy. I mean, he could put out any token, so if he wanted to put out the vulnerable, he could have. And then in the fringe play where he needs to change it to a weakened, he could have that too. And yes, Carl. It is the free folk who don't really rely on any sort of tactics zone. The closest thing they have is Endless Horde, which needs to claim the maneuver zone to actually happen. But other than that, no, they do not rely on any zones on the board at all. It looks like we're back to Artonas. I think he's just measuring out potential threat ranges of these Champions of the Stag, making sure that they can't get into his Outriders. They have a maximum potential threat of 16 inches. Or wait, are they 4-inch? I want to say they are only 4-inch maneuver. So sorry, they have a 14-inch absolute max threat range, which is the same threat range as his Outriders. So he's pretty safe with that. I have a feeling that the dragon will want to be able to get in there. He does have 2 Sentinel Orders though, and that Dragonstone Noble is pretty nasty when it starts taking damage. It can be one shot by a dragon, but it is pretty darn nasty. So it looks like Artonas is flipping the board state here with his dragon. He's decided to bring it out and into the middle of the board. It's always a risky play to kind of flip the board like that at the beginning. But with dragons, they're so fast, they can zip back and forth across the board, no problem. I think he's just double checking that those Lightbringers will not be able to shoot at his dragon with their free... Yeah, so if he shift, I think he's actually within range, period. I don't know if that's where he wants to stay with that. I want to say that there 7 dice. Yeah, 7 dice and a 3+ with that vicious. Now 4+ morale save is still very strong, but it is failable, which is something nice to hear about dragons, opposed to older editions where they were completely immune to morale. So it looks like we have 2 units left to activate for both players. Serbian Pope here activating his noble. And he's just barely creeping up the board. Nobody wants to overcommit to anything just yet. And it looks like Shira is going to be waiting to activate and likely grab the crown. She gets to restore a wound if she would like. Nothing has taken any damage. Creating the crown. Well, in saying that, she has no reason to claim the crown. Walder claiming the crown. There are no wounds to heal. It would do a weakened token, and he already will be first player starting in round 2. I think we are likely going to be seeing a Walder to get a either free maneuver or to be drawing more tactics cards to start off round 2 with. So, last table activation here for Artonas. He is going to be picking up Drogo here. It looks like he's getting them ready to go in for a big charge. Yep, he's marching right in there. He is definitely going to be hitting a charge at the start of next round. I would not be fully surprised if he didn't also have something like Ride by Attack to be able to get in and behind that unit. And here we see Shira Errol onto the crowns. And Will the One True King being played. So we're going to see a lot of tokens come out. It looks like all 3 are going to be placed onto Drogo's unit. Potentially, I don't see the panic coming down yet. It will likely come out on Drogo. Or is he deciding if he wants to put it on those Outriders? That is true, Carl. He may have assault orders to charge. He does have Walder Frey still to activate. Assault orders charge in. This round, free attack. There's nothing stopping him from getting this charge off right now if he doesn't already have assault orders. And there it comes down. We see assault orders being played from the Walder activation. And a Fire and Blood also being played. So this unit will be gaining I'm assuming he's going to want the reroll charge distance and gaining Sundering, as they already have Vicious. We're looking to see if there are any cards going to be played by Serbian Pope. Mark, yes, the Drogo does have Assault Orders, and we just saw it played. Looks like Serbian Pope is deciding if he has any cards he wants to play to kind of counter this. We're seeing the charge die rolled. It is a 1. He does get that reroll thanks to Fire and Blood, into another 1. That is not what we're looking for here. He will still get rerolls from Daenerys. He has no tactics cards in hand. Ooh, and he needs the order token for Blood of the Dragon to come into effect. So hitting on 3s with critical blow for a total of 8 hits with Sundering and Vicious. Let's see what cards are going to come down and be played. These are onto the Sentinel, so they will be saving on a 5+. The weekend is being spent, turning this into 6 hits total. Now, I do notice that Artonas did not spend the, or at least I didn't notice Expert Duelist being played. That should have been done before attack dice rolled, if he wanted to go for Andrew Estermont. Here we see it coming in, 6 dice on a 5+, taking 5 wounds. And then it will be a panic at a -1 total. So saving on a, I believe, a 7. Where are they at here? Sentinels. Why can't I find them? There. Saving on a 7. So that is a failure for another 3 wounds. That is a big hit coming in to start. 8 wounds total done. I'm not sure why he has taken 10. But oh, sorry, that'd be 9 wounds total being taken, and a final strike coming down. So this will be 9 hits back, 10. I'm not sure where this 10 is coming from. He seems to have been taking 1 extra wound somehow in there. So we are seeing 5 saves. The vulnerable is going to be played. Oh, and he takes a total of 10 wounds back. That is incredible. Carl, yeah, the reroll was kind of pointless for the charge, but he already has Vicious. He was likely just playing the card to get Sundering. So I'm guessing that the extra wound they're done, he decided he was going to be doing from Intimidating Presence and Expert Duelist. Yes. I didn't see him roll for it. We can't hear them say it, so that does make sense. Thank you, West Coast Bannerman. But that was not at all what I was expecting to see from the the counterattack final strike from those Sentinels. I'm surprised we aren't seeing the Sentinel order being played on the Dragonstone Noble. But it looks like they're moving on to round 2. I'm wondering if we are going to be seeing an Adravat come down potentially, or a ride by attack to get Drogo out of this position. We see a Blood of the Dragon come down on the Harakar. That will give him +1 attack die and -1 wound from failing panic. Very helpful to keep that alive. Yeah, ride by attack car will be very helpful right now. Now he can throw Danny onto the swords again. Get that free attack, automatically kill one, influence the unit, and hope to do another wound. And we see Adravot coming down. Drogo is going to be activating. We're going to see a nice point swing here for Artonas in the beginning. So with the activation, we are looking at, let's check, only 4 dice on a 3+. He won't have rerolls, but he will have critical blow, thanks to Adravat. How many triggers did he just use? I think he only used 1 trigger. Start of when a unit activates and start of any turn. So we see 3 defensive saves coming out here. They will be saving on a 4+ now, as the Vicious is no longer in play. But that is enough to kill the unit, and will be 2 victory points to Artonas. And we're going to see a Surge 4. I'm wondering if we see a overrun come from this. I mean, that would be a god tier hand to roll into round 2. I thought there was 3 played. I believe that only Adravat and Blood of the Dragon on the Harakar were played this round. The other Blood of the Dragon on Drogo's unit was played in round 1. So Blood of the Dragon is when a friendly unit is destroyed. So no order tokens to be put out on that just yet. Once again, we do not see the Sentinel order coming out. Quite surprising that he doesn't want to be getting that extra movement here. And we see Davos grabbing the maneuver zone. He's pulling back his commander. Yes, field control would be huge on this Carl to be able to stop that play right there. So with the maneuver back, he will be able to shift into line of sight of the Flatemen. Yes, I think he just moved the card as he played Adravat down. So, we'll be back to Artonas' activation here. He only has 1 tactics card in hand. I'm not sure. He has no way to get any more movement out of Drogo currently to get out of that line of sight. It looks like he's just going to go straight for the heals. We see Daenerys come down. He's going to heal up 3 onto Drogo. And he's going to be hoping to excuse me. He'll be hoping to tank those shots from the Lightbringers into the flank of his Flatemen. And it looks like we have a swift reposition coming down, so he will be shifting back too. This should bring him out of line of sight of Stannis in the Lightbringers. As with their 2-inch shift, they would have just been in range, I believe, or in the line of sight arc. Yeah. I believe the only reason he did not use the swords for the attack was because of Adravat. He wanted that extra point. It was guaranteed there. That is my only guess. And I believe that with that shift that Artonas just made, he will be out of line of sight from the Lightbringers. So he'll only need to tank potentially one attack, and he would have to maneuver first before Artonas can block the combat zone. Carl, I believe the only reason he did not face him was so that he could keep his unit facing forward. So you see the 2-inch shift here. I think he is checking line of sight likely. Or they already know. I had assumed that he was not in line of sight. It looked like that when they were measuring it out previously. Or, oh, okay. We see Artonas still has a card in hand. He must have realized that even with the 2-inch shift, he was not going to be getting out of line of sight. Well, that's 5 saves. The vulnerable will be spent. And making 4 to 5 saves again, only taking a single wound. He'll be taking a vicious flank panic test, so at a total of -2 because of Iron Resolve. So he'll be taking it on an 8+, taking D3 -1 wounds here. It is a failure, but only taking a single wound because of Iron Resolve. Yeah, West Coast Bannerman, I don't 100% understand why he didn't turn to face Drogo's unit. Nor why he didn't claim the combat zone to make that shot there. Drogo's unit really should be dead. And now his own commander's unit is activated out. There's nothing that can happen here. So we see Artonas. He's coming back. He's blocking that combat zone. I don't know if he has anything in range. I can't measure range right now. These Outriders potentially are in range of the Dragonstone Noble. If not, I can see the free. No, nothing happened. He didn't even take the free shots on the Wardens from claiming his zone. He didn't decide to replace it. It was a 2 on the D3 West Coast Bannerman, but there is no objective token on Blood of the Dragon yet. So he's only at -1 from the D3. Yeah, I don't know why Lightbringers didn't use swords. I also don't know why Artonas didn't take the wall shots off on these Wardens. It does look like they're controlling the objective, so looks like we are seeing the Harakar come in now. Will he be charging into the Noble? Is he just trying to take up space? With a march, he should be able to grab the center objective. Now he can Balder move and keep Drogo alive yet? I'm so confused. Yeah, I'm a little confused on Serbian's play there as well, Carl. Um, Walder. I mean, Walder can just take the crown at this point. Heal 2 wounds on Drogo. Put a weakened out. And he gets a second first turn. He'll be starting first activation in round 3 as well with Walder. Yes, I do agree that the swords are highly forgotten. My last game on this game mode was in the World Cup against Brett, and Brett most certainly did not forget to shoot me with the walls. He really hammered my bowmen and my Krennic trappers with those wall shots. Also, we had earlier this week my other teammate. I am part of the GoT Bois. Full transparency, this is one of my teammates playing. And our good friend engineer Harry, he actually basically won his game off of the tactic zone replace, killing a unit of poor fellows, pushing the score to 13-12 in his favor instead of 13-12 in his opponent's favor on the last round. It was quite a roller coaster of a game, actually. So it looks like the Wardens have pivoted to face the Flayed Men. I don't know if he thinks he's going to be getting first activation next round, but I can't see why at this point Artonas would not be putting Walder on the crown, healing 2 on Drogo, and taking first activation next turn again. So we see him making a pretty solid play here, getting these Outriders up onto these stakes. Double check here. It looks like he's going to be pivoting in a way that lining 50-50 will land on the stakes no matter what. So if this Sentinel wants to charge him, sorry, the Dragonstone Noble wants to charge him in the front, and I believe the arc will be probably too far for him to get into the flank, he will have to take the D3 plus 1 wounds, which on average will kill the Noble. You see Flayed Men coming, sorry, not Flayed Men, those are Champions of the Stags coming in, grabbing that side objective. They're not worried about wall shots, but he's going to need to keep grabbing some amount of objectives to score some points here early. Carl says, yeah, Drogo will wait her, get the hell out of there, or just charge and duel Stannis. Yeah, 3 NCU Walder versus 2 NCU is really rough. You're basically playing 2 NCU versus 2 NCU, but always getting a Walder activation. That's, I believe, the point of this 3 NCU with Pyat pre-list. You're playing 2 NCU into 3 NCU, while still being allowed to use Walder. So we see the dragon here, Viserion. No, Rhaegal, sorry. I get my dragons mixed up all the time. Charging into the Dragonstone Noble. This is a guaranteed kill on the Noble. And I do not believe that Baratheons have Last Stand anymore, do they? Oh my Jesus, it's double ones! Wow, that was very... I almost forgot about the reroll from the charge. The weakened token spent there. He didn't roll Snake Eyes a second time. That was whoo! That was almost bad for Artonas. So we're seeing the D3 come out for damage, and he will be taking 5 wounds in total. That is overkilling the dragon. Not the dragon, the Dragonstone Noble. And we see come out Final Strike again. For each wound the defender suffers, so he will suffer 3 wounds total. He cannot suffer more wounds than he has. So the dragon will be taking 3 wounds, or 3 hits on his 4+ armor save. This is where the old Last Stand was fantastic for Baratheons, being able to get that free attack with the auto hits. And it looks like Artonas is taking all 5 defensive saves. And only taking 2 wounds. Looks like there was the vulnerable token on them being spent to take another one. So he's taking 3 wounds. I'm pretty sure that he should have only taken... Yeah, I agree with Carl and West Coast Bannerman. You cannot suffer more wounds than you have. I'm wondering here... Okay, we're not seeing an overrun come out. If we did, that would have just been absolutely insane. But we see Rhaegal coming out and getting out of line of sight of those Lightbringers, with the last activation coming down as Walder onto the crown. We'll likely be seeing healing 2 wounds onto Drogo. I don't think he's going to be healing this dragon. And putting, I would say, the weakened out on... he puts it down on the Wardens. I'm surprised that he's not putting it down on those Lightbringers. Very interesting. He doesn't seem to have healed 2 wounds yet. Is he going to go? My assumption would be he'll be healing them on Drogo. Keep him alive for as much as possible. We're seeing wall shots come down. It looks like he has forgotten about the heal too. So on to the Outriders. It looks like they will be taking 3 wounds. Yes, 3 wounds from the wall shots. For a total of the maximum 5 hits. In the game now, Drogo's probably dead either way. It's hard to say. I'm not sure who's worth healing. I mean, nothing's hurting the dragon essentially at this point. We're seeing 4 hits come out. I'm not sure if this is going to be onto the Wardens or if this will be onto the Champions of the Stag. We see 3+ of this is onto the Wardens. So they'll be taking a wound. And then this will be onto the Champions of the Stag. They're taking the 5 hits on a 2+. And we see no wounds taken on the Champions there. So that puts Artonas up another 2 points. He should be at 5 points total to Serbian Pope's 2. Yeah, I'm thinking the heal was just forgotten about. So we see it go back to Artonas. He is discarding his card there, which was Swift Reposition. We already knew that because of the his inability to play it. Now, I would not be surprised to see a starting activation of Drogo charging into Stannis here. If he can charge into Stannis, even if he doesn't do big damage, he'll have to retreat. Okay, there we go. We see the Waller heal now onto Drogo. See, I'm wondering if we're going to see the Drogo activation now. Charge into Stannis' flank for big damage on those Lightbringers. Tying them up will really stop Serbian Pope from being able to score objectives. He'll have to run away. He has a chance of actually killing Stannis. And looks like we have a card coming out, Harsh Conditions. And he's going to be removing, I believe, only one condition token off of these Outriders. I believe they only had a panicked token on them. So they will be losing one ability. I'm not sure if he's going to get them to lose their bow or motivated by coin. It's kind of a hard call. I would say likely the bow. He doesn't want the extra to hit, or being able to make it a long range shot if he decides to get out of there with the Champions of the Stag. Yes, Carl. Assassination would be huge on Stannis' unit. It would stop him from having a chance at all of getting those bonus victory points for commander on an objective. Stannis, I mean, isn't really in a spot where he can capitalize off that. And we're seeing it happen right here. Drogo is activating, maneuvering into the flank to make this an unfailable charge. And at this point, we're just rolling to see if tactics cards can be played or not. Yes, West Coast Bannerman. Commanders now score the additional victory point in all game modes. Yep, right there at the bottom on Bartender's handy little note. +1 victory point for objectives held by their commander. I think it was kind of in the push to make your commanders actually worth more on the table. So we see the flayed men. They're charging into the flank here of these Lightbringers. They are only at 1 rank, so it'll only be 4 attacks still. But I have a feeling we are going to be seeing the expert duelist come to try to kill off Stannis. He can push through the 1 automatic wound, which does force the vicious panic token, or panic test, but... Ooh, and the 1. So he did go for trying to kill Stannis, and was unsuccessful, rolling a 1 when he needed a 3 or higher. The attack. 4 dice hitting on 3s, with critical blow and vicious. Getting those rerolls from the charge. No weakened tokens. For only 2 hits. Now these will be saving on, I believe, a 4+. These Lightbringers are, oh no, okay, they're a 4+ armor normally. Saving on a 5+, they are rather well armored ranged units. I agree. I don't like anything about Expert Duelist West Coast Bannerman. I do use it some in my Greyjoys, because when you have it, you might as well use it. But it just feels like a bad ability. You're either not having fun, your opponent's not having fun because you're killing their attachments that they paid extra points to bring, or you're not having fun because you're trying to do a big play and you're just failing that 3 up, and it always feels bad when you fail a roll that should be almost guaranteed. So we see a 7 here on the test at -2 total, so passing on an 8. So it should be a total of 4 wounds lost from that, a total of 6 wounds lost from the unit on what was sadly a kind of a poor roll from Artonas there. Yeah, not rolling in the tray. I have weird superstitions about stuff like that too, Carl. I don't know if it's actual bounce or not. When I don't roll something in the tray, it always fails me. When I say I have an unchargeable or unfailable charge, I'm gonna throw my unit in and then I'll roll for disorderly. It always comes up disorderly. I I'm a very superstitious player at times because I don't know if it's just that I notice them more, but I seem to have poor luck when it comes to when it comes to dice games. My dice don't like to do what I want them to do. Okay, so it is on to Serbian Pope's activation. It looks like he's going to be activating the Champions of the Stag. Likely coming back, charging this dragon, hoping to get rid of something that will crack them apart. It won't help him. Yeah, Stags are going for the dragon. With, what do they have, 7 dice on the charge with critical blow? Yeah, 7 dice on a 3+ with critical blow. Taking swords just because would not have been a bad idea. He could have delayed Stannis dying for potentially another turn, but killing this dragon is also a pretty big... Ooh, my cat just jumped off my lap, so wait, and get caught up in my mouse. Oh, Polo, you crazy cat. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, big hit here onto the dragon. He has 5 remaining wounds left. 7 dice with critical blow and rerolls on a 3+, I believe, nets you on average 8 hits. No. Yeah, 8... 70... Yeah, you're looking at just under 8 hits on average. So this should be enough to kill the dragon on average dice. True. If the dragon lives, he will be able to get 2 attacks. Potentially 3 between swords, his activation, and the Walder at the end of the round. It should statistically kill the dragon though, Carl. And we see a card come down. Ours is the Fury. So he's going to be likely gaining... I don't know if he wants to be gaining Sundering or +1 to hit here. But he's almost just ensuring that this dragon dies. Stags are weakened. Stags are weakened. I totally missed that. Yeah, stags need 5 wounds. So I'm thinking he's going to be going for the +1 to hit here from Ours is the Fury. That's my bad. I totally missed the weakened on them. With the +1 to hit, you're hitting... Oh, I didn't even want to try the math on this, but hitting on 2s, re-rolling with critical blow, you should hit essentially all your attacks. The weakened, any ones that come up, you have just as easy a chance as rolling a 6. So we'll see how it turns out here. 7 dice on the 2+, for a total of 8 hits. I'm thinking we're going to see that weakened token spent. The dragon has a 4-up armor save, but will be saving on 5s. He's only getting him to reroll 2 of these here. 2 basically null effect. 1, 6, and 1 evens it back out to an 8. Oh, he was rerolling his own dice. Okay. So that was a huge swing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He decided to try to reroll, fishing for more 6s. The weekend spent. only getting 5 hits, saving 3 of them, only taking 2 wounds. It is flank, and oh my god, that was a huge, huge save there for that dragon. So we see Khaleesi coming down onto the swords. Drogo going to be making the free attack with the rerolls. We see... Oh, this will be the... I'm not 100% sure why he's taking the test here. Huge weaken token. Yes, that weaken token was massive. Turned a 6 and another die into a 1. The panic test is an automatic pass. Yes, but Glory Seeker there. Ooh, that's not the card I'm looking for. Glory Seeker, restoring 2 wounds onto the Lightbringers. Making it 8 wounds that Drogo has to chew through here. So back to Artonas, we have already seen Khaleesi come down onto the swords and influence Drogo's unit to get him the rerolls here. We'll see if he decides to stick with that. Or... I mean, 4 dice. He no longer has critical blow. He will be getting the rerolls. If he can kill Stannis, he does have a decent shot. I mean, he doesn't have a decent shot at killing the unit. At absolute maximum, he can do 9 wounds right now. So, dragon attack could be better. I don't know why we didn't see an attack coming out. Or we saw... Oh, that was a dragon attack onto the Champions of the Stag. Sorry, that was not a panic test. Yes, that is my bad. They took 5 wounds, and then they must have passed their panic test from the attack. And the weaken coming down onto the Lightbringers. Yes. Sorry, dragon already attacked. That was my mistake. I thought he was rolling a panic test there. Yeah. Looks like the stags here are trying to retreat. The Lightbringers are trying to retreat. Get as far away from Drogo as possible. While still maintaining their 1 inch away from Rhaegal. I mean, Drogo can't attack right now, currently, without a Walder attack. Yeah. Rhaegal can easily retreat into the flank, or into the rear of these Lightbringers. We see Pyat Pre coming down onto the bags. And you called it once again, Carl. We see another assault orders coming out onto Drogo's unit. It looks like the charge will be automatically in. And he is in the flank. So we're rolling 4 to the Disordered, which does not come out. This is very big for Artonas. Hitting the flank. The angle on the Outriders for that shot, with the shift, he may be able to get into the rear. Yes, it's it's a very tight line, but I'd have to see it up. Picture, like, just looking at it here while they're measuring that out. I can't draw a line. it looks like it would be shiftable into. Yes, West Coast Bannerman. The free charge is for Drogo's unit only, free attack for others. Assault orders in the Stark Tactics deck is only off of the swords, and that's for any generic unit. So it looks like he's going for the assassination onto Stannis again. Once again, the one, Carl, he did not roll on the dice tray as you had suggested previously. For yet another fail on that. So he is 0 for 2 on assassination attempts on Stannis. We are seeing 3 hits currently, with the rerolls turning that into 4 hits into the flank. These will be saved on a 5+ on these Lightbringers. Yes, in the tray! Dealing 2 wounds to these Lightbringers, which is just enough to proc the panic test, which will be at a -3. 10 will save it because of the Weirwood Tree. Actually, even without the Weirwood Tree, that is a pass. So now we see Baratheon Justice come down to restore 2 wounds. No, not restore 2 wounds onto Drogo's unit. Sorry, Stannis' unit. They will just become vulnerable. And we see Lead by Example coming out for +2 panic test and +1 to hit. It's for melee attacks only, I believe. Yes. So I don't know if he's playing this onto the Harakar and planning to charge into Stannis. Now the stakes are gone there. Yeah, that charge, he failed the Expert Duelist. Only managed to get 2 wounds through from the attack. And then passing a 9+ morale test was very, very rough for Artonas. You see an order token being played here from Stannis' unit to put the vulnerable out on the Harakar in the center of the board. Now, I don't know when it happened, but it seems that the stakes that were in front of the Outriders have been destroyed. I totally missed that. I'm not sure when that happened. I only just now realized that they are gone. I think what Artonas is checking here is to see if he can get into the rear of the Champions of the Stags with his Outriders. With Lead by Example to get the +1 to attack. That will also put him onto that objective. I don't know if he's going to measure this with this other tray here. Be very interesting to see. So we see Shira Errol come down onto the tactics zone. She will be removing and putting... Oh, no, we're not seeing that. Is Shira going to be going onto the crowns? I wonder. If Shira does not claim the crowns, leaving Walder open to the crowns once again to claim that the heal 2, the weaken, and take first activation once again. I think if we see that happen, that's essentially game on round 4. It looks like Serbian Pope is still deciding on what to do. And yes, we're seeing Shira come down onto the crowns. He will be able to heal 1 wound. Bringing that up on the Lightbringers. And looks like he is going to likely hit a panic test onto those Outriders. They will be passing on a 2+ from... Well, I'm assuming that Lead by Example was played on them. A 7 is a pass either way with their 5+ morale. So here it looks like we are checking if a rear charge is possible by these Outriders. And yes, they can very easily fit in between the castle wall and the Champions of Stag. With Lead by Example, these guys will be getting 5 dice on a 3+. Oh no, it looks like he had actually attached Lead by Example to this Harakar. Sorry, that is my bad. We're just kind of sitting out there in no man's land. I had thought it maybe just got missed by the way he was moving it around. And a charge into Stannis' Lightbringers. It is long range. Sorry, West Coast Bannerman, you are right there. I totally missed that part. It was a disordered charge onto these Lightbringers though from the Harakar. Hitting on a 2+ for all 6 hits. Rolling from the weekend to turn it into just 5. So no Sundering here, just Vicious. 5 hits on a 4+. And it's looking at 4 wounds. Wow. And the Lightbringers will be taking a panic test at a net -2. An 8, which is just a pass because of that Weirwood tree. And just enough to survive the unit. Stannis and Lightbringers, they, I mean, based on what's been thrown at them, yeah, they should be dead right now. But they're a surprisingly durable unit for a ranged unit. I think that they are quite a strong spot actually for Stannis. I don't know. I'm still not sure how competitive Baratheons are. I think they have some strong builds, but they get heavily out activated, and I think that's a huge issue. It looks like we are back to Serbian Pope's activation, and I would not be surprised. Carl Black says yes, Walder could get Drogo to do another attack. Stannis is, I believe, just activating now. Likely to get the free retreat, or to retreat out of there. I don't believe he would go for an attack. It looks like he's looking over the cards that are on the Harakar. Either way, either Drogo or the dragon are getting a free attack here. And it looks like he's going for an attack with the Lightbringers and playing Sustained Assault. and attacking into Drogo, it would seem. Attacking with highest attack die value, which is still only 5 dice. They only hit on 5s? Ooh. For no hits, which means an automatic passed panic test on Drogo. Yeah, I don't know. Serbian Pope's not in a good position currently. The dragon will get 1, if not 2 attacks now. Drogo gets potentially 1 attack. 5 wounds here from the dragon onto the champions of the stag. With a vicious panic test outside of the corpse pile. If he fails this, the champions are dead. And an 8, I believe, is just a pass. It's right on a pass. Now that puts Artonas out of activations. Sorry, not Artonas. Serbian Pope out of activations. The Outriders looks like are going to be coming in and doing their free maneuver to get into the the rear of the champions of the stag, hoping to charge in and finish them off. This is why I wasn't worried about 2 attacks from the dragon, because the Outriders to get the heal. No, the Outriders have Fortune Seeker, not Glory Seeker in them. So only if they pass a morale test do they get a heal. He can't be healing the dragon with them. They are also missing an ability, which I would have to assume is their Outrider's bow, thanks to harsh conditions from Stannis. And it looks like we see here 3 hits on the rear of this unit, so they'll be passing on a 4+. No tokens in play, but that's just 3 straight wounds through, which is enough to kill the stags off. They will get a surge 4th. Likely they'll just stay on that objective. And the dragon gets a free pivot. Now, because dragons don't have a free ranged attack like they used to, this is not as terrible for Serbian Pope. But it is very likely that Drogo will get another attack on this next activation by Walder to finish them off. Yeah. Not looking great for our Baratheon fans out there. Carl, I've seen that before. It always frustrates me when that happens. When you see dice just kind of shoot straight up in the air. It looks like Walder's going for the free attack. He really wants to kill. That is 3 for 3. 3 for 3 out of the dice tray. Fails on Expert Duelist. I'm going to have to tell him after this game never to roll out of the dice tray again. So we see currently 3 hits. For 4 hits on the flank of these Lightbringers. They'll be saving on a 5+. And then taking the panic test at a -3 from any wounds here. They take the 3 wounds though, and that is Stannis dead. we'll see a pivot here, a couple pivots. This puts Artonas up to 7 points, 8 points once objectives are scored to Serbian Pope's 3. I agree, West Coast Bannerman. He should have just done the auto wound. I think he just wanted to vindicate the fact that he wanted to kill Stannis on at least his third attempt. I think at that point it was just, I want to do it because I haven't been able to yet. I'm pulling cards back. I think they're going to score this up. Thanks for joining us, West Coast Bannerman. Glad to have you in the stream. Hopefully we're going to get more out soon for the TSL, and I'd like to be doing streams regularly, at least once every other week, potentially, at the very minimum. But always enjoy you guys coming and hanging out. Ooh. That is a big save there on the Outriders. Just to add insult to injury here. Carl's Warden's taking 1 or 3 hits total. And taking a wound. Just as many wounds as the Outriders took. I'm going to hop into chat with these guys as they finish out the end of this game, essentially, here.
Two.
Hello, guys.
How's it going?
Hello.
Good. So,
The stream die?
nope, stream's still going, but I'm guessing you guys are. We're down to last round here. Just wanted
Yes.
wanted to poke and see how you guys were feeling about things.
It's been a good game. I think the biggest mistake for me is forgetting about. I completely forgot about Walder, and whatever was that round 2.
Walder,
Yeah, I was going to round
Round 3.
big, yeah.
Round 3.
Yeah.
So that completely changed the momentum in what I had planned and put me on the ropes, because theoretically I could have got a potential kill there, which would have alleviated a lot of pressure. But so be it. You live and you learn.
That was a big final strike you had there at the beginning of the game.
Oh.
10 wounds.
Oh,
into the
yeah?
Blade Men.
Oh,
I was so
brutal.
happy with that. I checked my hand. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
A little bit more disappointing one on the dragon, but still.
Yeah.
I will say, Artonas, you rolled 3, 4, 3 expert duelists outside of the tray. Chat repeatedly said, roll that shit in the tray.
No,
Yeah.
that was all Stannis. All
Stannis messing with
Stannis.
the dice.
Khal
Yeah.
Drogo's got nothing as a duelist.
Yeah, he's all talk.
He's all talk. Stannis goes out there. He brings his fire sword, and it's done.
All right.
He just grinds his teeth hard enough to scare his enemies away.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you guys finish out the end of your turn here. We'll keep the stream going, but I'll let you guys play it out. Thank you so much for allowing me to stream this game, and good luck to you both in the rest of the tournament.
Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
So yeah, everyone, like I said, we're just going to let them finish this out. We'll keep it rolling just so you can see the final end score, see how it fully ends. But we have been, I guess I have been World's Edge Wargaming. As I said, we would like to keep these streams going at least once every 2 weeks. I would like to get one in regularly, if not more. You can shoot me a message on Discord. I am Gamma016. I'm in pretty much all the major Discords. Or if you are on Facebook, check us out over there. At World's Edge Wargaming. I don't have I'm just trying to look up our actual Facebook. If you search World's Edge Wargaming on Facebook, you will find us. We host all kinds of events in the maritime area here in Canada. We are on the east coast of Canada, hence the World's Edge. For all of you who likely don't know where we are, we are the forgotten part of Canada. We are east of Montreal, and we are 1 hour ahead of all of you on the east coast in America. I know it seems strange, but we are more east than you. Alright, so it looks like these guys are just quickly gonna finish this off. We got Davos here. He's grabbing the maneuver. I think he's just gonna try to keep these wardens alive to finish this game off. Thanks, Carl, for joining the stream. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you're around in the future for some more streams that we can hopefully do. So it looks like Davos is grabbing those maneuver to do the free shots for another 3 wounds into the Outriders. We see Daenerys counter. She's likely going to influence onto Drogo and heal him back up 3. And there we see it. Will we see Shira Errol come down onto the crown and replace it with another shot into these Outriders, I believing? We can see a tactical approach coming down. Getting ready for this, the prolonged combat that likely will not come. Onto these wardens. Let's see the next activation here. It looks like it is going to be, I would not be surprised if it is Shira. You're just double checking the card, making sure that he can heal if he grabs the crown. No, he is going for the tactic zone. He's gonna remove his own weaken token and bows onto these Outriders for another 5 hits. And oh, and a total of 4 more wounds. Okay, these Outriders are getting dangerously low with only 1 wound left. I honestly would not be surprised if these Outriders didn't just maneuver off of the objective though to stay alive on 1 wound. Force the wardens to activate. And then send everything at him. He only needs 2 points worth of 2 victory points here to finish this off. I think he's just checking to see mathematically what he needs to close this with Drogo. We're seeing a swift reposition come down for a 2-inch shift. It looks like they're activating, doing their 5-inch maneuver. And it will be a 2-inch charge. Roll up. Oh, and it's 6 the last second there. It looked almost like it was going to be a 1. Charging into the front of these wardens. And we will have 7 dice on a 3+ with critical blow and vicious coming down. is a card going to be played? I don't think they have any cards to be played off the attack. It's usually off the charge for Targaryens. And with the re-rolls, we are looking at a total of 8 hits and an auto wound from Expert Duelist. So 8 dice on a 3+. Good chance to save quite a few of these. So he takes 2, saving 6. And a panic test at a -3, so saving on a 9. Passing on a 9, I should say. For failure and taking 2 wounds. Oath of Duty. So just taking 1 wound. Okay. Till the end of the game when a friendly. Or I don't know if that had an order token on it. It must have had an order token on it. I'm not sure how long that card has been there. So you see the wardens attacking back. Hitting with 3 dice. Stands here to do. Will he be doing the additional D3? Oh, expend condition token, which they do not have any on them currently. For 3 saves. Nothing to make them weakened. Because they did not roll any 1s. So this is where I would not be surprised to see the Harakar hop down onto that center objective. Okay, we're going to go Piet Pre. He's just going to try to finish this out quick and dirty. 7 dice on a 3+. Re-rolling from Daenerys. No critical blow anymore. For 6 hits. He will take 1 hit back from Counter-Strike. And 6 dice on a 3+. Failing another 2 here. And the panic test on a 9. Taking Artonas' defensive save on a 4+, which is a pass. Panic test here, passing on a 9. With a failure, taking 3 wounds, and that kills the unit for the game. The Surge Force coming. Just enough to get Artonas on there. Believe that ends the game though at a 9-3 victory for Artonas and the Targaryens over the Baratheons. Thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to like and subscribe, we're hoping to do more content. Comment down below on what you guys want to see. And send me a message on Discord if you would like your game streamed. We are open to evening streamings. We're on the East Coast here in Canada. By East Coast, I mean the Atlantic Coast. We are an hour ahead of all you East Coasters. Just remember. So thank you all for watching, and good night.